Stephenson.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I think we all share in the ambition to ensure the sustainability of pensions and the best possible income for all of our constituents in retirement. I'm going to keep my comments reasonably short given the time, Madam Deputy Speaker, but having come to this place from the City, and I have to say not working in the pensions industry, but also as an officer in the APPG for Pensions and Growth, I look forward to providing more detailed scrutiny on this bill as it progresses through the House. So I will rise today to share concerns that I have with this bill, and some of which have been shared with me by City institutions. First, I'm concerned that this bill demonstrates a broader problem with this government's approach to the economy, that rather than seek to support free enterprise and entrepreneurship to grow our economy, they instead seek state-led interventions to direct funding to government-approved investments. I think that's the wrong approach, and I think many members have expressed that this evening. On scale and asset allocation reforms, I'm concerned that the government seems to believe that government and regulators should be able to direct how pension funds invest rather than schemes acting in the best interests of their members, a matter that my right honourable friend from North Hampshire made. Trustees being directed to invest in assets by government or regulators may need to be protected, in my opinion, by safe harbour provisions in the event that their investments perform less well than alternatives that they may have chosen. And I'd ask the Minister to reflect on whether any consideration has been given to such safe harbours in the bill. And it's not clear to me why these reforms are necessary. Perhaps the Minister could address in his remarks why, given policies like the value for money tests and small pot consolidation, which are already in process, he feels that these additional requirements are needed. I'm also concerned that ministers are proposing a statutory requirement to force schemes to follow a specific route when considering transfers into a super fund. Trustees have a fiduciary duty to their members. We've heard a lot about that this evening, and this direction from ministers runs counter to that duty. So perhaps the Minister can provide some assurance to the House on those points. Turning to the sustainability of UK pensions, I'd welcome some further clarity from ministers on their proposals for the powers to pay surplus to an employer. In particular, I'd like to understand how confident the Minister is that the thresholds set for the release of surplus are sufficient to protect member benefits. This is particularly important given that scheme surpluses have only emerged recently. I'd also like to know whether the Minister plans to specify the authorised uses for surplus return. For example, whether surplus will be protected from being paid to overseas parent companies, for example. Madam Deputy Speaker, I welcome the Government's desire to ensure that our pension system is sustainable and contributing to UK economic growth. I'm just not as enthusiastic about some of the Government's instincts to deliver government-led investment at the expense of market-led growth. I look forward to scrutinising the bill further as it progresses.